quiet and courteous, and silence your cell phones now.
In a time where stars were whispered secrets and mysteries and a universe laid veiled in the shadows of ignorance, man dared to question the very fabric of reality. Thus ignited a spark that would set ablaze the corridors of knowledge forever, changing the course of history. This was an era known as the scientific revolution. A time when minds soared beyond the confines of tradition, casting aside superstition in pursuit of empirical truth. Amidst the clamor of progress, great minds clashed, challenging the boundaries of human understanding. From Copernicus, Galileo, Newton, Kepler, they dared to dream, to explore, to defy. This is not merely a revolution of science, but a revolution of thought. A quest for enlightenment that would shape the very essence of civilization. Welcome to the scientific revolution, where curiosity knows no bounds, for the universe unfolds before your very eyes. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Donnie Carswell. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Carswell. These are for the greatest scientists of the scientific revolution. Who shall reign supreme? Who is the G.O.A.T? All rise for the Honorable Judge Donnie Carswell.
Thank you, brother. You may be seated. Ladies, gentlemen of the court, esteemed counsels, honored guests, this is a pivotal trial where the greatest minds of the scientific revolution stand in trial and court. Wow. The greatest minds stand in trial in court, a historical scrutiny. Today we embark on a journey through the annals of time, revisiting the intellectual, political, economic uphills of the European worldview. As we embark on this journey, where we talk about great scientists such as Isaac Newton, Johannes Kepler, Galileo Galilei, Nicholas Copernicus. We must assess how these great scientists challenge age-old theory. Throughout this trial, each team of lawyers will wield their expertise, their arguments, and demonstrate the unparalleled impact. But this chamber has rules. This chamber will be ensuring fairness from the jury. Let the greatest scientists of all time prevail. Court is now in session. Now, ladies and gentlemen, first up, from first period, representing Isaac Newton, Isaiah Adams, and Cordell Evans. Morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleague, Your Honor and jury. Today I stand to make the case for Isaac Newton as the greatest of all time. Newton as the greatest scientist of all time, his contributions to the field of physics, mathematics, and astronomy are not merely significant. They are transformative, shaping our understanding of the natural world and laying down the foundation for modern science. Born in 1642 in Woolsmith, England, Isaac Newton's life was marked by intellectual curiosity and relentless pursuit of knowledge. Newton's crowning achievement came in 1687 with the publishing magnum opus called The Mathematical Principle of Natural Philosophy. In seminal work, Newton laid out his laws and the law of universal gravitation, which revolutionized our understanding of motion and the forces that govern the universe. Newton's laws provided a comprehensive framework for describing behavior of objects in motion, establishing principles that underpin classical mechanics. His laws in universal gravitation, on the other hand, demonstrated the force of gravity acts usually on all objects, falling from apples and grapes, orbiting planets, providing and unifying explanation for the motion of celestial bodies. Moreover, Newton's invention of calculus and branch of mathematics focused on rates of changes and accumulation. He has a profound impact on virtually every field of science and engineering. His development of calculus provided a powerful tool for solving complex mathematical problems, laying the groundwork for advancements in physics, astronomy, engineering, and economics. In conclusion, Newton's contributions to science are unmatched to the breadth, depth, and enduring impact. His laws of motion, law of universal gravitation, invention of calculus, and groundbreaking work in optics have revolutionized our understanding of the natural world and laid down foundation in modern science. For these reasons and many more, I submit that Isaac Newton is without a doubt the greatest of all time. Thank you. Rest my case.
Thank you, Captain. Next, representing Johannes Kepler with the opening statement. Silent. Silent. No. Joshua Heidelberg. Joshua Heidelberg, representing Johannes Kepler.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we come today to defend the honor of Johannes Kepler. Who is Johannes Kepler? Kepler was a German mathematician and astronomer who discovered that the Earth and planets travel about the sun in elliptical orbits. Kepler is known as a powerful astronomer, a mathematician, an astrologer, a natural philosopher, and a writer on music. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I ask, how can Kepler be considered a bad guy? His powerful understanding of science has forever changed our understanding of the cosmos. Kepler stands among astronomers as a titan, a pioneer whose discoveries laid groundwork for modern-day astrophysics. As we dive in the history of Kepler, let's give all the reasons as to why Kepler deserves the title of the greatest of all time in the field of astronomy. I rest my case.
Thank you, Captain. Now representing the opening statement for Galileo Galilei, Jordan G.O.A.T.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, jury. Today I bring you this case for Galileo Galilei as the greatest scientist of all time. Galileo wasn't only just a scientist. He was a book publisher, a mathematician, a visionary, and a pioneer who helped us better understand our universe. And he has also laid the foundations for modern science as we know today. A little bit more about Galileo. He was born in Pisa, Italy, 1564. Even at a young age, his insatiable curiosity and relentlessness towards science has propelled him to the forefront of scientific inquiry. Galileo's achievements aren't on just one subject. It spans to multiple, like astronomy, physics, and mathematics. Galileo is best known for his telescopic observations. He provided undeniable evidence in support of the heliocentric theory, revealing that Earth is not the center of the universe, but one of many planets that orbits the sun. His insights into laws of motion and gravity helped pave the way for Newton's discoveries. He was essentially the blueprint for most of these scientists that are here today. He also created the scientific method, a new way of doing science that we learn in science class. Galileo defended his findings against the Catholic Church because at that time the Catholic Church did not understand science, so they went against it. But he stood his ground. His unwavering commitment to scientific integrity continues to inspire many generations of scientists and scholars to this day. In conclusion, Galileo Galilei stands as a towering figure to all these other scientists that stand here before you. His contributions to astronomy, physics, and mathematics have undeniably shaped our understanding of the universe and modern science. For these reasons and so many more, without a doubt, Galileo Galilei is the greatest scientist of all time. Thank you for your time. I rest my case.
Thank you, Pastor. And now, for third period world history, representing Nicholas Copernicus, with his opening statement, Kendrick Small. And your wall.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Good morning.
Today we gather to examine the profile and impact and contribution of Nicholas Copernicus, and explaining that he is not only just a figure in history, but the greatest scientist of all time. With his extensive knowledge to the universe, it has empowered us in so much that we know and understand today. His contributions to the field of astronomy are nothing but short of revolutionary, reshaping our understanding of the cosmos and laying the foundation for the modern science.
Nicholas was defined the prevailing beliefs of his time with the groundbreaking heliocentric model of the universe. So that being said, his heliocentric model forever changed our understanding of the universe and laid the foundation for the modern astronomy. For these reasons and many more, I urge you to recognize Nicholas as the greatest scientist of all times. Thank you. I rest my case.
Thank you, Counselor. Jury, this concludes our opening statements. We'll be moving on to the argument. During the phase of the argument, each team will be allowed to make objections. This is the phase where now we begin to compare and contrast and find out who really is the greatest of all time. First up, representing Isaac Newton with this argument from first period, Isaiah Adams.
Jury, judge, my colleagues, today I present you a case for my client, Sir Isaac Newton, to prove that he is the greatest scientist of all time. We will be comparing him to Galileo, Jonas Kepler, and Nicholas Copernicus. Although all four of these scientists contribute to making science more understandable to us, Isaac Newton laid the blueprint for it all. Without Isaac Newton's laws of motion, you won't understand how the world circulates, like Galileo's theory. Additionally, turn our attention to Nicholas Copernicus, another pioneering figure in history of science. Copernicus' heliocentric model of the universe laid the foundation for our modern understanding of planetary motion. However, Copernicus' model was incomplete, lacking the mathematical rigor and empirical evidence provided by Newton's laws of motion and gravitation. So Newton's laws of motion, it was like this. One day he was in his yard, there was an apple tree, and he saw the apple go down. He wondered how gravity works. So whatever goes up has to come down. That's what it means. Okay. Furthermore, Copernicus' resilience on circular orbits and epicycles to explain the motion of planets was superb by Kepler's laws of planetary motion, which provided a more accurate description of celestial mechanics. Jonas Kepler, while celebrated for his laws of planetary motion, also fell short in comparison to Newton. Kepler's laws, while empirically derived, lacked the theoretical foundation and mathematical sophistication of Newton's work. Moreover, Kepler's belief in the mystical harmony of the cosmos, exemplified by his adherence to Platonic solids and the concept of celestial spheres, detracted from the scientific rigor of his theory. Now let us turn our attention to Isaac Newton. Newton's laws of motion and universal gravitation represents the pinnacle of scientific achievement. His laws provide a comprehensive and mathematical rigorous framework for describing the behavior of objects in motion and the forces that govern the universe. Newton's invention of calculus revolutionized mathematics, providing a powerful tool for solving problems of physics, engineering, and mathematics. Furthermore, Newton's experiments with prisms and lenses laid the foundation for the field of optics. Furthermore, expanding our understanding of the nature of light and color. In conclusion, while Galileo, Copernicus, and Kepler made significant contributions to our understanding of the universe, it is Isaac Newton who stands as the greatest scientist among them. Newton's laws of motion, universal gravitation, and invention of calculus represents the pinnacle of scientific achievement, providing a comprehensive framework for understanding the natural world that remains unparalleled to this day. Thank you. I rest my case.
Thank you, Counselor. All right, next up, representing for Johannes Kepler, for the argument, it will be Joshua Heidelberg. And Skylar Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I present to you a comparison of four esteemed scientists: Johannes Kepler, Galileo Galilei, Nicholas Copernicus, and Isaac Newton. Through this comparison, I aim to demonstrate why Johannes Kepler stands out as the greatest scientist among them, despite the flaws of Newton, Galileo, and Copernicus. Let us begin with Galileo Galilei. While Galileo made scientific contributions to the field of astronomy, including his telescopic observations and efficacy for the heliocentric model, his legacy is tarnished by the action during his trial with the Catholic Church. Under pressure from the Inquisition, Galileo resented his support for his heliotropism and spent the rest of his life under house arrest. This episode reveals a flaw in Galileo's character, as he prioritized his personal safety over scientific truth.
Objection.
On what grounds, Counselor?
Relevant.
Please explain what you mean.
Galileo's own legacy is not directly relevant to the discussion of Johannes Kepler's contributions to science and his potential as the greatest scientist.
I'm sorry, Counselor, I couldn't hear you.
Galileo's own legacy is not directly relevant to the discussion about Johannes Kepler's contributions to science and his potential as the greatest scientist of all time.
Counselor, I'm going to have to overrule that. Jury, that's overruled. We're not going to allow that because it is relevant that he did recant his statement of his findings. So that's my decision. It's overruled.
Turning our attention to Nicholas Copernicus, we find another pioneer in the field of astronomy. Copernicus' heliocentric model challenged the geocentric worldview and laid the foundation of modern astronomy. However, Copernicus' model was incomplete and lacked the mathematical sophistication of Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Additionally, Copernicus' reluctance to publish his work during his lifetime suggests a lack of confidence in his own theories. Now, let us examine Johannes Kepler. Kepler's laws of planetary motion represents a monumental achievement in his histories of science. Through meticulous observation and mathematical analysis, Kepler discovered that planets move in elliptical orbits around the sun, with the sun at one focus of the ellipse. This insight revolutionized our understanding of celestial mechanics and laid the foundation of Newton's laws of motion and gravitation.
Moreover, Kepler's contribution to optics and visions furthered our understanding of nature and light and laid groundwork for advancements in telescopes and microscopes. His work on the optics of lenses and formation of images provided valuable insights in the behavior of light, contributing to the developments of modern optics. Finally, let's consider Isaac Newton. While Isaac Newton made significant contributions to physics and mathematics, his legacy is not without flaws. Newton's continuous personality and concerning behavior raise questions about his reliability as a scientist.
On what grounds, Counselor? On what grounds, Counselor?
Hearsay.
Hearsay, Counselor? Could you elaborate?
I mean, no, relevant.
Relevance, Counselor? Are you sure this time? Okay, Counselor, on what grounds for relevance? I can't hear you, Counselor.
Why is he talking about my client's personality? It has nothing to do with him being a scientist.
What had nothing to do with the case?
His personality.
His personality? I might have to sustain that one. Personality has nothing to do with it. Please strike that for the jury. Remove personality from the counselor's statements. Personality has been stricken from. Continue, Counselor.
So, as I was saying, additionally, laws of motion and gravitation were built upon the foundation laid by Kepler, suggesting that Newton's work may not be as original as some people believe. They wasn't given the information.
Order in the court, Counselor. If you have any objections, you make those objections, but you are not allowed to speak on the counselor's side.
In conclusion, while Galileo, Nicholas, and Newton made valuable contributions to science, it is Johannes Kepler who stands out as the greatest scientist among them. Kepler's laws of planetary motions and his insights into optics and vision had an unwavering commitment to scientific exploration and discovery. For these reasons and many more, I submit that Johannes Kepler is the greatest scientist of all time. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. At this moment, we have a brief recess, but due to being a little bit behind schedule, instead of 5 minutes, we will take a total of 3 minutes. I need you to go ahead and put a 3-minute recess on. Galileo, from first period, is going to be Marvin Reyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues in the honor and jury, I'm here today to present you a comparison of 4 titans of science: Isaac Newton, Johannes Kepler, Nicholas Copernicus, and most importantly, Galileo Galilei. Only one can stand the best amongst everyone. While each of these individuals made significant contributions to what is now our modern science, Galileo made the most. He stands greatest amongst these other scientists. Let us first examine the contribution to Nicholas Copernicus. While he did indeed make the heliocentric theory, which was revolutionary in that time because everyone thought that the sun was the center of the earth, he made a theory stating that the earth was not indeed the center of the universe. rather the sun, and every planet orbited that sun. This theory proved to be revolutionary. However, it did not have any evidence to back this up. He had many questions on how this theory worked, but he couldn't answer them. Johannes Kepler, also an astronomer, he made significant strides in understanding planetary motion. His laws of planetary motion provided a mathematical framework for describing the orbits of planets around the sun. However, Kepler's work were all speculations. They weren't true. So ask me this, would you prefer an answer that is proof and evidence that can only be correct? Or would you rather have an answer that isn't true, but rather an educational guess?
Counselor, on what ground? Hearsay, Counselor, I'm gonna need you to elaborate.
He said something about how our information wasn't proven to be true. It was just theories, or what'd you say? What was the word for it?
Yeah, Counselor.
Educational guess. Well, I mean, all scientists have educational guesses. And truth be told, you and Newton was one of the people that proven that most of our theories were true. Can you elaborate on how this wasn't?
Counselor, you're addressing me, Counselor.
Well, can he elaborate on how it wasn't?
Counselor, I'm gonna have to agree with the council and sustain that and ask you if you're going to continue with that thought. You do have to understand that a hypothesis is an educational guess in the scientific method. However, if you're going to continue with this same thought process, we need you to explain how you know and what evidence you do have to say that that was an educational guess. If you do not have evidence of that, Counselor, I'm going to have to strike that from the deliberation.
I guess I don't have any evidence.
All right, Counsel. For recorder, please strike the jury. Jury, please do not take into consideration that this was an educational guess. That will be removed, and you are not allowed to use that in the deliberation. Please write that down and report for the jury. You may continue, Counsel. That's my ruling. It's sustained.
All right, moving to Isaac Newton. He was undoubtedly one of the most influential scientists in that time, or in history. His laws of motion and universal gravitation revolutionized the understanding of the physical world. He was not without his flaws, but his principles were based on assumptions rather than direct observation, leaving room for refinement and revision.
On what grounds, Counsel? Counsel, I'm going to need you to elaborate. Counselor, if you didn't hear what he said, we can't go back. What is the speculation about?
He said something like he just talking like it's like
Counselor.
he just saying stuff. He ain't got no proof. He just saying stuff.
But Counselor, how is that hearsay? Hearsay is.
I said speculation.
Speculation. I'm sorry. Okay, Counselor. So how is this speculation?
Because it's not true.
And how are you claiming that what he said is not true?
Because he said his characteristics or his personality or something. What Brett said?
Counselor, in all good consciousness, I'm going to have to overrule that, Counselor. You may continue, Counselor. Counselor Reyes, you may continue.
Alright, now let us turn our attention to Galileo Galilei. His contributions to science are multi-factor and far-reaching. His telescopic observations provided evidence in support of Copernicus' heliocentric theory. Galileo discovered the moons of Jupiter, the faces of Venus, and the mountains on the moon, all of which challenged the prevailing worldview. Galileo's experiments with inclined planes and pendulums laid the foundation of Newton's laws of motion. His significance extends beyond his scientific achievements. He defended the scientific truth against religious and academic dogma. He was determined to get the truth, the real answer. His independence of science or from religious authority paved the way for scientific revolution and enlightenment. In conclusion, while each of these scientists made invaluable contributions to the advancement of human knowledge, it is Galileo who emerges as the greatest scientist among them. His groundbreaking discoveries and defense of scientific truth optimized spirit of scientific inquiry. He inspired generations of scientists and scholars, making him a true giant in the annals of scientific history. I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Next up, we have our next argument. Our next argument from third period, world history, representing Nicholas Copernicus, Adriana Campbell. We'll also be joined by Alexander Stevenson.
Your Honor, members of the jury, ladies and gentlemen, today I present to you the greatest of all time scientist, top tier, Nicholas Copernicus. I aim to demonstrate why Nicholas Copernicus stands as the greatest scientist.
Council, can you speak into the mic a little bit so we can hear you?
I aim to demonstrate why Nicholas Copernicus stands as the greatest scientist of all time, the original and the first. While Galileo is celebrated for his telescope observations and his advocacy for a heliocentric model, it's essential to recognize that his work was built upon the foundation laid by Copernicus. Galileo's observations merely provided further evidence for Copernicus' heliocentric theory, rather than originating it. Additionally, Galileo's reputation was tarnished by his reputation during his trial with the Catholic Church.
Next, let's consider Johannes Kepler. While Kepler's law of elementary motion are significant in their own right, they were derived from Copernicus's heliocentric model. Kepler's insights into the elliptical orbits of planets around the sun were made possible by Copernicus's groundbreaking theory. Furthermore, Kepler's adherence to mysticism and belief in harmony of the cosmos exemplified his association with the atomic solids and celestial spheres. And that contrasts with Copernicus's empirical approach to science. Now, let's turn our attention to Isaac Newton. While Newton made remarkable contributions to physics, math, and mathematics, including his laws of motion and universal gravitation, it's crucial to recognize that these achievements were made possible by Copernicus's heliocentric model. Newton's law of motion and gravitation were built up on the foundation laid by Copernicus, demonstrating that Copernicus was the true pioneer in reshaping and our understanding of the universe. In contrast, Nicholas Copernicus stands as the original and the first among these scientists. His heliocentric theory model challenged centuries of entrenched dogma and superstition, revolutionizing the understanding of the cosmos. Copernicus's unwavering commitment to empirical inquiry and his courage to challenge the status quo incorporates the essence of scientific exploration and discovery.
As you may say that Galileo is the greatest of all time, as he went to court and got on house arrest for half of his life, he did state in court that half of his scientific and his projects in science was lies.
On what grounds, Counselor? On what grounds, Counselor?
Speculation.
Speculation. Please explain. Elaborate on it, please. Elaborate on it.
How do you know that in court he said that?
He did have a judge, he did go to court.
He did go to court, but how do you know that he said that half of his stuff was false?
He stated it in court, just, we got documents that he stated in court, it's a typewriter, right, it says what he stated, he stated in court, that half of his projects of science was lies, and all made up.
What was made up?
His projects, all of his science.
All of his science?
Mostly his projects that he stated in court was lies, that he stated himself was lies.
Okay, Counselor. I think I was going to make those ruling. However, it may not be what you think. I understand what you're alluding to, Counselor, about him saying his lies. However, this is court, and we do need to have the facts. Just simply stating all of it won't do it. We need you to specifically state what he said he lied about. If you cannot specifically state what he said he lied about, we're going to have to strike it. Jury, please be advised that we're going to have to strike from the evidence that Galileo told that everything. I'm not evidence. We have to strike from your deliberation that Galileo told lies about all of it. That is not going to be used in your deliberation. So we're going to strike that. Please do not consider it. That will be my ruling. That is sustained.
In conclusion, while Galileo, Kepler, and Newton made significant contributions to science, none can match the audacity and brilliance of Nicholas Copernicus. His heliocentric model forever changed our understanding of the universe and laid the foundation for modern astronomy. For these reasons, and many more, I urge you to recognize Copernicus as the greatest scientist of all time. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Thank you for your time. That concludes the argument phase. Ladies and gentlemen, jury, we're now moving into the final phase of court. This is the closing. This is the last statement that each team of attorneys will have for the jury and their final statements for the jury before they go into deliberation and decide who won the case. To begin, Isaac Newton, representing Isaac Newton all the way from first period, world history, Kamari Davis. and James Adams.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
As we come to close of this discussion on the greatness of Isaac Newton, I urge you to reflect on the profound impact of his contribution to science and humanity. Through his laws of motion, universe, gravitation, and invention of calculus, Newton revolutionized our understanding of the universe and laid the foundation for modern science. Newton's legacy is not merely confined to the pages of history, but lives in the scientific principles and theories that continue to the shape of our world today. His relentless pursuit of true, unwavering dedication to empirical inquiry and unparalleled intellect have earned him a place among the greatest minds of all time. Moreover, influence extends beyond the realm of science to encompass virtually every aspect of human endeavor. His laws, motion, and universal gravitation have applications in engineering, astronomy, and space exploration. Shaping the course of human progress and technological advancement. Furthermore, Newton's spirit of inquiry and courtesy served as a beacon of inspiration for future generations of scientists and scholars. His intellect and the limitless potential of human endeavor. In closing, let us honor the legacy of Isaac Newton by recognizing his immense contributions to science and humanity. Let us continue to celebrate his achievements and draw inspiration from his example as we strive to unlock the mysteries of the universe and push the boundaries of human knowledge. Thank you, I rest your case.
Thank you, Councilman. Next up, from center period of world history, doing the closing for Johannes Kepler, Silent Parks.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my fellow competition, I know you've heard a lot of information, but now it's time to relax your mind and open your eyes and ears to let me paint a picture on why Johannes Kepler deserves the title of the greatest of all time. Through the evidence presented, it's clear that Kepler's impact understanding of the universe is unparalleled, making him without the doubt not the best, but the greatest scientist of all time. Kepler's contribution to astronomy are truly exceptional and make him a strong contender of the title. Let me start painting that picture. His groundbreaking laws of planetary motion not only expanded our understanding of the universe, his insights into optics and visions expanded the boundaries of human knowledge, but also paved the way for countless scientific advancements. Kepler didn't just figure out how planets move. He also made these detailed tables that help people find their way using the stars. Jerry, this GPS this was like a GPS for the sky. This work had a major impact on astronomers and navigators to this day. Kepler's brilliance and dedication to his work have left a permanent mark on the world of astronomy. His contributions have shaped our knowledge and continue to inspire generations of scientists. Jury, the picture is clear. The people defending these scientists are right here in this courtroom. His dedication and groundbreaking discoveries make him a legend in the field of science. Kepler's work continues to inspire and guide scientists to this day. So I urge you to consider the large impact Kepler has had and see what your final decision is, not to be Newton, Galileo, or Nicholas, but Johannes Kepler himself. Isn't my picture beautiful? I rest my case.
Thank you, Councilman. Next up, for the closing argument, all the way from first period, representing Galileo Galilei, Krista Hill.
Good morning, Your Honor and jury, and fellow colleagues. I want you to take this opportunity to think about who really is the greatest scientist. If I were you, I would say Galileo Galilei, because he's literally known as the father of science. If you think about it, it becomes evident that Galileo Galilei stands out as a main figure among them. Galileo's groundbreaking discoveries, fearless defense of scientific truth, and unwavering commitment to his invention set him apart as a true pioneer of modern science. He's made many contributions to science, great more than others. If you think about it, none of the scientists would be scientists without Galileo Galilei. Do not treat Galileo as a big mistake. He did serve life in prison after pleading guilty in the Catholic Church court in the 19th century. The Catholic Church publicly admitted to being wrong in their judgment of Galileo at the time. You can't say Galileo is the best when he invented the laws of inertia, he created the telescope, and he published a book about a hydrostatic balance that he invented in the days. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Last but not least, for our final closing statement, representing from first period, representing Nicholas Copernicus, Janiyah Ross. And Serenity Mix.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as we reach the conclusion of this trial, I implore you to consider the overwhelming evidence that has been presented. We have dived into the lives and contributions of 4 remarkable scientists, but amidst the discourse, one name shines brightly above the rest, Nicholas Copernicus. Throughout this trial, we have now seen how Copernicus' audacious heliocentric model transformed our understanding of the universe. Born in a time dominated by the geocentric worldview, Copernicus dared to challenge the prevailing beliefs of his era. His courage to question centuries of entrenched dogma and superstition speak volumes about his own unwavering commitment to scientific truth. Copernicus was not just a scientist. He was a visionary whose idea reshaped the course of human history. His heliocentric model laid the foundation for modern atmosphere and paved
The way for scientific revolution would follow without Copernicus' bold assertion that the Earth revolves around the sun or understanding of the cosmos would be fundamentally different. However, Copernicus' legacy extends far behind his groundbreaking theories, his unwavering commitment to empirical inquiry, and his dedication to the pursuit of knowledge set a standard for scientific exploration and discoveries that continue to inspire generations of scientists to this day. While his contemporaries may have made scientific contributions to science, no one can match the audacity and brilliance of Nicholas Copernicus. His work remains as relevant and influential today as it was centuries ago, a testament to the enduring impact of his own.
As you deliberate on the evidence presented before you, I urge you to recognize Copernicus as the greatest scientist of all time. His contributions to our understanding of the cosmos are unparalleled, and his legacy will continue to inspire and guide future generations of scientists for centuries to come. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our closing argument. That is the last thing that the jury will hear. Now, jury, I urge you, please, to take all of the evidence that has been presented to you today only, not using any prior knowledge, only what you have been presented with today. The court recorder will give you any objections that will be added and anything that has been stricken from the deliberation process. You will now be excluded by the bailiff out of the deliberation room, and when you have your verdict, the foreman will announce it.